Hey, what's going on, Profit Bulls? How to identify potential. Yo, Stom here. We're going to go jump right into it, alright? So, let's do this. We're going to look at the cats, okay? We have the 1 minute time frame here and 5 minute 5 day here on this side. And what you want to be looking for is I'm going to bring over the 180 day chart. So looking at cats, you can see that it's bouncing off the 180 day EMA and it's coming to a high of $22 roughly. So this play here, I mean, is still showing signs of a downtrend. This was a red day here. It pulled to a high here of 2161. So it pulled to a high of 2161 here, and it's just staying straight. It's going horizontal with the 180 day EMA. Here it pulled down below, which this would be a support line right here for cats. So I'm thinking this stock is going to go down, touch this level here to roughly, from this line here to here, you can make a percent of 15% right there between 1910 and 2201. Some of the things you want to look out for, though, is definitely the news, what comes out on the stock down here, because you don't want to just buy in because, you know, it's hitting this support level right here. You want to make sure that it's going to have that downwards movement. Execute your buy here and sell about 22. You can see that it got it pulled to a high of 23 here during pre-market. It definitely gapped up pre-market, and then it just pulled down throughout the day, and it tried to bounce on the 180 day, but it just blew right through it, picked back up with the gap between here and here, and it just got rejected again, you know, for the support resistance areas. And then it passed again, and now it went up. The next day it also went up and then started coming down. This EMA here crossed over this middle Bollinger Band EMA, and then you could see that where it X'd out at right here, it started going down. Had a bounce, the blue crossed over the light blue, came up but got rejected by this next candle. You can see that from here where it closed at, it even gapped down, opened here, had to pull down to the middle Bollinger Band, and yeah, it just traded downwards the rest of the day. Let's take a look at the next one. So let's look at DK. DK is showing signs of a uptrend. It does have a pullback to around the 180 day EMA on the 5 minute chart. It traded under here, and then it had a gap up. It had a gap on this day here, gapped here, showing signs of an uptrend. Could have been news that came out. Overall, this stock does look good, but let's look at the 180 day to verify. So you can see within this range here, from here to here is where it's got the support. It definitely broke support here and touched the 180 day. There's that gap we were talking about. Now it's back up. So I'm pretty sure for this being a 1, 2, 3 triple top, so triple top is probably going to get rejected again, maybe. Something to pay attention to. Everything is looking good for my EMAs here. When it's green, when it's blue, green, yellow, red, that means it's showing an uptrend. You can see that by this coming down, blue, green, yellow. It crossed over. The red came in, tried to take over, which it's holding. It is holding. I mean, it's got to have a pullback every now and then. 180 day is pointing down. The MACD indicator right here, MACD is pointing up. Here's that crossover right here, which would have been that gapper. So it's probably going to get rejected around 23.34. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to set an alert on this one. So I want to see if it's going to bust above it or break below it. So we're going to do create an alert at or above, and then this one at or below. At or below, create alert, at or below. Alright, so those right here, my alerts are set, these arrows. We're going to move on to the next one. Let's look at jets. So looking at Jets on a 5-day, 5-minute, we're not going to worry about the 1-day, 1 minute. 5-day, 5-minute chart. It was trading below the white 180-day SMA, simple moving average. It had a low pull down to 1127. Then it picked up from there, came over the 180-day chart. It got rejected at this resistance level here. It got rejected. It tried to push after hours into market opening or pre-market time. It had a pull down gap, and they even gapped down here. You can see it by these little tick marks here. It gapped down. Then it got rejected again. It came down to support on the 180-day SMA, and then it got rejected again. This would have been your triple top roughly. And then after market hours, it traded sideways, and then it pushed. It pushed pre-market, my red line right there. Pushed pre-market, continued to move up, and busted this resistance diagonal line. No, sorry. Yeah, diagonal line. It busted my diagonal line. So, my bad. This is your horizontal resistance. This is my diagonal line. It pushed above it. And then it came back down and touched 180-day EMA, and it had a, it's having a higher low and a higher high. And then it touched again 180-day. And then throughout the day, it tried to push again, just couldn't hold, and it fell off throughout the market sell-off at the end of the day. Then the next day did the same thing. It started gapping up. It held. It didn't really hold pre-market. It definitely had a pullback, which is okay. It touched the 180-day here. Started pulling up the 10-minute mark of the market, and it, if you were to trade this from market open from here to here, you could make a profit of 2.4%. And then it continued to touch the, or then it continued to fall after that to the bottom Bollinger Band. And then it started turning up again, but just couldn't hold. And then here's that, I believe today. Yeah, so this is today. It gapped up. Had a gap down, had a gap down. So it is currently very active. So let's look at the 180-day now. At the 180-day, I do have that diagonal drop from this previous coronavirus high. Here's that coronavirus fall off. This high here coming over this and this one. So this is a almost like triple top. So let's look. So right now it is getting, here's that 180-day simple moving average, and there's that diagonal. You can see that it touched it. It opened here, closed here on the first 4 hours, then here, opened here, and closed down to the red EMA, which is my Tesla's 369 theory. That's what these ones right here, these 4 lines right here, are based off of. Then it held on a red EMA, started pushing, got rejected. That diagonal line got rejected there. Has not touched 180-day yet, but it is very close to it. Then this is your pre-market movement, or after market hour movement right now. So for something like this, if it gets rejected here, I'd wait till market open. I'm pretty sure this is going to fall down to roughly around 12.21 again. Yeah, about, because this is making, besides this one here, lower highs. This one came up past it, but it couldn't hold, so now it's, it's going down. Here's that bounce, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now it's trying to consolidate in this area here. It's trying to consolidate here in this area. So this is a resistance line, this red one here. So it could bounce. This is the first resistance. It could bounce to here, 1340. If it busts this, then here's that. There's another one right here. There's that next one. Let me zoom out. Right about there. about there. Alright, so let's zoom back in. So that's also a resistance. Here's one of the other resistances from over there. Support level, sorry. Support, and a support. If it busts through these supports, then it's going to come down to roughly around here, possibly even down here. So this is something to keep an eye on. And this 180 day is starting to show like a downtrend. The MACD indicator is showing still up, but we're going to go ahead and set our first alert here for a at or below, and this one here at or below. And one more at or below. And then we'll do one for the 180 day at or above. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So look at, you can see that Jets fell. It's already fallen pre-market. So looking at BTU, Peabody Energy. So it was showing signs of an uptrend right here from low of 271. Yeah, so it's making higher lows and higher highs, and it did cross over my diagonal line at this one here. Definitely crossed over, and it held above it, and now it looks like it's going to continue to ascend with this MACD indicator for yesterday's play showing still signs of an uptrend. Let's bring over to 180 day. 180 day, you can see that there's that coronavirus fall off. I tried to get above this EMA here, which it got rejected. Had that pull back to that support level, support level, support level, also support level. And here's that one we just made, the ascending diagonal. And here's that resistance on the 180 day simple moving average line, SMA. So we want to see why. Let's put another resistance level in, probably this one right here. So that resistance, because these candles here, you can see it by this candle here. This had an okay day, got rejected at this resistance, had to pull back, but this right now is acting as a resistance level area. Same with this one here, that's also a resistance. So hopefully today is good. We'll keep an eye on this. We'll say create alert here, see if it busts above. We can also do one below. We'll do one right about here just for see what happens at or below. So that's covering DK. So you have a potential profit. I wouldn't buy in now because this is a resistance. I mean, you could, theoretically make from here to here 7.6%, 7.7%, from 330 to about 335. So that's pretty much like a quick in and out right there. I would not sell it at 355. I'd probably sell it at 350 just to be on the safe side. You want to always do a little bit lower than what has been rejected at. Alright, so let's move to the next one. Here's that sun coming in. SIG. So looking at SIG on a 5-day, you can see my diagonal pattern here. It pulled down to a low of 757. And it continued to do an uptrend. Seems like it broke the uptrend here and had a pullback through this day. It also busted underneath the 180-day SMA. And we'll look at the 180-day chart now. So zoom in here. There's that coronavirus fall off. You can see it's been touching the support line here. There's my ascending diagonal pattern for the long, and here's what we just marked out, and that's where it broke below. So let's put a support line in right quick. bring this in a little bit. Support line, there's one right there. Oops. So there's one right here. Support line, that would be a resistance right here. Roughly. Possibly another resistance right here because of these two candles. So these two candles here, 3 candles. Here got rejected. You can see it opened here, but it just fell down to the support level. Busted this support, but you know, it's still held above that diagonal. And from here to here, you know, it was moving up, so now it's moving. Looks like it's moving down. The MACD indicator, the blue, is about to cross the white. So I'm suspected that this can come down to the support level over here, and then just continue to ride this line all the way up. It definitely has to break. It is traveling on. I mean, the candles are above the 180-day, which is good. I mean, it can come down and pass this support and then touch the 180-day. It can pass this support here and come down to the 180-day and test this support. So with that being said, I would probably wait till it reaches around here. So we'll do another alert, say at or below, and we'll stick with that because it's going down. My indicators on the EMAs are going down. The SMA is pointing up, but I'm suspected that this is gonna, you know, come down and touch right about here on the 854 mark. And the potential from profit from 854 theoretically can be from, we'll say this was being rejected here a couple times, so we'll say about here, 999. You making 14%, 14.5%. So we'll go over one more. Let's do one that's Google, Apple. Let's take a look at Apple, huh? So Apple 5-day chart, it blew through. Here's that sell-off. Pre-market came down, tested, pulled up above the support line here, got rejected by the 180-day, pulled back down to the support, busted support a little bit for like the first. Or for this starting of the series, like maybe 30 minutes, and then it tried to push here, got rejected, touched the middle Bollinger Band, and then it continued to make an uptrend after market out, or throughout the last like maybe 3 hours, 2 hours of the market. And then the next day it just gapped up here. It gapped up here, touched the bottom of the Bollinger Band, just pushed up, held pre-market here, but it fell, sell off because of probably this area here, sold off, and then it reversed with the spinning green top, and then, you know, it continued to go up here, and there's that. If it broke this support, you would probably sell. It definitely had a double top. That last 5-minute mark pulled the market down, and then we could look into the next day. So here's that next day. So it traded pretty much horizontal. It did touch the 180-day SMA, pulled up, held above the support. Something happened, probably bad news in the market or something, and it made the stock drop. Traded horizontal here. Very, very nice horizontal pattern. And then it continued to move up. Touched the resistance area, blew above the resistance, now it's acting as a support, and it continued to go up, Here's that gap down the next day, and this is where we're at right now. This is about to start today, so it gapped down from around 219 to 318, so a whole dollar, and there's that support again. So this would be a nice potential play. So let's look at the 180-day right quick. So you can see that's the coronavirus drop off over there. The stock continued to push up through the 180-day mark. It held like 3 days, 4 days, roughly 4 days of support. Then it busted support, touched the 180-day SMA, and then now it continued from here all the way up to here to hold that support on the diagonal line. Then it busted support here, touched this support. Now it's touching resistance here, support here, resistance here. It's holding, it's squeezing. So and right now pre-market time it is showing a sign of a downtrend. We'll go back to this one here. Let's move this one over here. So it's touching support again. So this could be, if it holds support, this can be a play at open, depending on news. News always dictates, okay? News always dictates this stuff. If it's bad news, of course, it's going to, fall below the support and act as a resistance. If there's good news, or if there's just no news, then people are expecting Apple to continue to go up. So that is that. So that's how you identify potential. The way you identify these potentials is you have to know your support and resistance levels, pay attention to your technical drawings and everything, because they do help. As you can see, this line here that I did for Apple a while ago was from over here, and it blew through my resistance. Now it's acting as a support, and this act as a resistance. You can see that, and it's trading within this range here. So Apple, if it holds above this support, then I can see a continuation of an uptrend. But if it blows through this support and acts as a resistance, then we can see it coming down, and touching the red, maybe the red EMA, or it can touch this support level. But we shall see. I'm gonna set up one alert here. So create alert, at or below, and then that's pretty much it. So let me know in the comments below, how do you identify potential. Hit the thumbs up and like if you have, subscribe if you haven't. Until next time.